Welcome to the Immunity Community 2020, where our focus is to provide physical, mental, spiritual info and positive vibes to help you endure and adapt. We'll be bringing you experts to provide strategies to handle stress and boost your immunity. So welcome, everybody. With me today is my friend and colleague, Dana Durand, licensed massage therapist. And what's crazy is that the more of these interviews that I'm doing for Immunity Community 2020, I've realized we've been friends for 18 years now, at least, which is insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we started professionally together almost the same time, way back when in Planet Fitness, when we were just starting out, which seems like eons ago, which is insane. We both have almost teenage kids now. So I brought Dana on board because she's not only my massage therapist. We refer a lot of clients back and forth to each other throughout the years. Dana is also a personal trainer, or certified in, I would say, strength training, conditioning, as well as nutrition. So she's a very well-rounded practitioner, and maybe some of our listeners here have worked with you before. It's possible, but she also has a really cool approach, not just to physical massage therapy, but the energy work that you do as well. So can you tell us a little bit about your approach and how you've created your model of care and what it is?
Well, it's completely customized on the patient's needs, and it's different modalities. I do a lot of energy work. I do like to work with trigger points, and a lot of times our muscles hold tension, but they also can hold emotion and trauma. So I try to touch on all different levels during my sessions.
Awesome. When you talk about energy work per se, what can you expand on that a little bit? What is that?
Well, I think you've heard of Reiki,
Mm-hmm.
which is an energy type work. I mostly work with chakras and energy balancing. So
Okay.
Our body can kind of go out of alignment energetically, and it needs a reset. So I can kind of clear out some emotions that aren't, serving the client, and then kind of just balance it and make the person calm and relax again.
Very cool. I've experienced that myself. I know that I had some of my chakras out of balance, not just physically I was hurting, but when you've helped me work through a lot of those different energy blockages, so to speak, and feels awesome afterwards. And if not just a physical feeling, but just something that it's hard to even describe with words, where things just feel balanced and harmonious. So
Right.
I'm a big fan of that type of work and all work around that. So you're also a mom, and so how are you, and a business owner, obviously, and you use your body, and so how are you adapting? How are you personally adapting to what's going on with these times? Because I've leaned on you just for your mellow attitude, and I appreciate that. So, and it's helped me. So
Just like everybody else, just trying to settle into my new normal. It can be challenging at times, but biggest thing, trying to keep kids off the devices. My oldest always wants to play video games,
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of, just not putting any stress on us. Whenever we try to, we start thinking negative, we try to focus on what we do have, not what we don't have, and just, balance it with gratitude. It's a challenge, but we're healthy, we're happy.
Okay, good. Is there, from a listener's perspective, are there some tips that you can give us? Because I know you're going to show us a couple of physical tips, but how about from a nutritional perspective? What can we do at home that keeps our bodies potentially more flexible or in less pain?
Well, we definitely should hydrate.
Awesome.
It's easy to get caught up into the day-to-day stuff around the house and forget about ourselves, and our bodies need the hydration. It's good for everything. So that's a big one. I have to stay on my kids about that as well. Just, remembering to drink water.
Yes.
So,
I'm very bad at that. I'm not good. So what's a good, what do you do with the kids? How much water are they drinking per day?
Normally I get a bottle. It could be a bottled water or just like a refillable bottle. I have their name on it. I put the amount they need for the day, or, like my oldest daughter needs 2. So I'll just set them out, and then we just constantly check in, see where we're at with our levels, and try to get a certain amount per day.
And how have you been able to, I'll pivot a little bit off of kids, but onto business. So how have you been able to maintain connection to your clients during this time?
I think it's really important to check in with them, just to know that I'm still thinking about them. I want to know how they're doing, how are they managing? Are they feeling okay? It's just really important that we support each other right now. And I have so many clients that have checked in with me to see how I'm doing. And it's
That's
so
awesome.
touching. It's so touching that they think about me. So what I did is I created a YouTube channel where I could give them some self-massaging techniques to do at home.
Okay.
So that they can still work on their bodies even when they can't get in, obviously, for a session.
And have you found any feedback from that? Because I mean, I'm a body worker myself, so I know how to do that stuff, but I would assume most of your clients are not body workers. So has that gap shrunk? Like, are people actually doing the work? Have you gotten some good feedback from that?
They have.
Okay.
One of the reasons why I started it is because I think after like 5 days of not being opened, I started having some clients reach out, like, what can I do? One of the things I like to tell them is, first, create a space in your house where you can go, you can stretch there, you can meditate there, somewhere that's relaxing, declutter an area, just make it relaxing for you so you can go there. That's a great start. And then I have some tips, certain tools that they could use that are at home, like a ball, tennis ball, lacrosse ball, where they can work out the muscle. And I demonstrate it in my videos. So it's pretty simple for them to follow along. And then I always have them reach out if they have any questions.
Cool.
Being home, I'm available to answer most of those questions right
yes,
now.
So. Availability is wide open lately.
Yeah.
Of course, that's very different from before, because it was hard for me to get an appointment like before a month with you. So I needed to go a month out and schedule. So how are you feeling now that because you just mentioned earlier before we started, you've been working on people 18 years straight, body work. Like, how has that left you? Where have you filled connection for yourself if you're missing it through that human touch?
It's been challenging. I was like, what do I do with myself? I realized, I take just as much as the client does away from the session. I do, because I feel great helping people. So, other outlets, doing the YouTube channel is a great outlet for me to help people. But for me personally, I have my space. I like to start the day with a, morning meditation, as long as my children will allow me before they interrupt.
Yeah.
But, and stretching is big, but most of all, I'm doing my home workouts. That's where I am really releasing any stress and really connecting to my body. And I'm doing those same techniques that I'm showing people on the YouTube channel. I'm doing those for myself as well. So, I'm still working on myself, which is helpful.
Crucial. Staying connected to yourself as well. Did you pick up a kettlebell, or you have other weights at home?
I've always kind of kept some stuff like that, but I have 3 kettlebells, some bands.
Right on. All right. Well, if you can leave us with some good tips, I know the best way to get all these tips is going to be to go through your YouTube channel. What is the YouTube channel? Can you give it the?
It's Dana Durand, licensed massage therapist.
Okay, and we'll put the link in the show not show notes, but in the as we talk, I'll have my team, because I stink at the tech part of things. So we'll make sure that they get that in there. Awesome. So can you leave us with some good self-myofascial massage techniques? And granted, those of you watching now, just starting this is a great means to connect to oneself and yourself, because we're used to people working on us externally and not doing our own soft tissue work, but it can be very beneficial. It's a little different than trying to tickle yourself. You can actually do soft tissue work on yourself and get results. So I'll give you the mic. Go ahead.
Yeah. And it's a great time to in tune with yourself and listen to your body. So not a lot of times do we take the time to really have that quiet time to listen. So a great tool technique. A lot of us working at the computer, we're doing stuff like this, not great for our neck. So there's a muscle right here called the SCM muscle, It has a pain pattern that comes around and comes into the eye here. It even causes some ear pain. It is a lot of times the cause of a headache. So something we can do is just start rubbing from like behind the ear down where the collarbone is. And when you kind of just go back and forth on the skin, you're really creating some myofascial connection there. And the circulation will make the skin start to turn pink. But then what I like to do is take my hands just like this and start to pinch that muscle. It sticks out. It's a little ropey. I don't know if you can see mine. And so I just work it.
I'm doing the same thing as your.
Good.
Yeah, and those of you who have never done this before, that SCM muscle can be really painful too. But so what happens if someone's in pain? Should they push through it? Should they breathe? Should they back off?
Great question. So number one, you never want to push on an area where you feel a pulse.
Okay.
I'm sure no one's going to do that, but I just want to throw that out there.
Well, yeah, we got a lot of beginners on here, so that's I'm glad you brought that up. Right. So if you feel pulse, do not push. Got it.
No.
Okay.
And it will feel good, even though it's a little tender. The light pressure will feel good, so you'll know you're in the right area. And if it's really tight, you'll feel it referring. You'll actually feel it, the pain traveling. At times when that's tight too, if you moved your head left to right, that would be just, have discomfort. But up here towards the top, it's a little meaty. And so you just want to grab it, give it a light pinch, and then take a deep breath whenever you're working. So just, and then I would just move down a little bit, pinch the same spot, just above and below, kind of just working in that area.
I don't have I don't have my AirPods on them. I'm using my wire as an excuse, but I'm good.
Okay. You can do little light circles with your fingertips. I call it like finger walking or finger tapping. Mm-hmm. You can kind of work up and down.
One. Do you tend to use like an almond oil or massage oil? Is that helpful?
If you want more glide, you can, but if you're trying to get myofascial connection, it's better to have it with no lubrication on it.
Okay, cool. Good to know.
And you can even come behind the head where the skull and the spine meet together along the hairline.
That's a big
one refers like down into your head like this. So if you're having a headache kind of around here.
Do you show how to use a ball on your YouTube channel up in that area too?
So I haven't gone there with the ball yet. I do show how to work out the shoulders with a wall and a ball, and that's one of my favorites.
Great.
And I'm not used to working on a computer, and I'm doing a lot of computer work. I'm doing that one almost every day. So it's one of my favorites.
Okay.
But yeah, if you can do the finger tapping and walking back there.
Great.
And then you can just press in and then do a little movement. That can help too.
This is so cool because
it's
a way to connect to yourself. And I'm sensual. I like smells, touch. It's just how I roll. But so like this is just a great way to just stay connected to myself and feel what's going on in my body. Because a lot of times with the stress that I'm going through now, I want to escape. So this helps me bring it back. So what about hydration after self-massage?
It's really important after I think people say all the time, you got to drink your water after your massage, because what you're doing is you're breaking up like waste products. Like when you feel sometimes knots, they crunch and they pop, you're releasing all of that toxin. So it's good to have the hydration to flush it all out.
Awesome.
And a lot of times the headache could be from lack of hydration. So
super cool. Well, that was helpful. Is there any other tips as far as being able to recognize perhaps some blockages in energy or things that may stick out to people? Are those things that you teach that people can work on themselves, or that's more practitioner working on person?
Sometimes with that, it has to be more of a one-on-one setting, because once I find a spot and I can, talk about it with the client, then they're able to connect to it. Sometimes it's hard to kind of get right back, to identify that yourself. But something great to do is just breathing, exercises, laying on the floor, taking deep breaths, just kind of checking in with yourself at all different points.
Awesome.
There's some really good meditation podcasts and,
and apps,
resources out there. Yeah. So
Awesome.
I would highly encourage people to check that out.
Okay, right on. All right, so there you have it. That was at least just a preview. So I urge you listeners, I'm going to challenge listeners, go to Dana's YouTube channel. We'll put the link in there so that you can go learn how to take care of yourself. And obviously this doesn't replace getting, because I've already asked Dana like 14 times to break the rules and to get me an appointment, but we can't. So we're being professional and behaving. So, I definitely urge you to go to Dana's YouTube page and check out those myofascial and self-massage techniques. Just another way to connect to oneself, and also these are things that are great to teach children, to start taking care of themselves early on.
It's funny. I have a family massage on there where I show kids how to massage their parents.
Oh my God, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in. My kids are like, ew, I'm not touching you though. So I don't know if that'll work for me, but maybe if they were younger, I don't know. Now they're teenagers, like, forget it. So, but that's awesome. Super cool.
Yeah. There's also a couples massage tutorial on there as well. So
wonderful. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us, and look forward to seeing you when this thing finishes up.
Me too.
All right.
Thank you.
You got it.